ready? It's the Roundtable with me, Robert Bannon. He's back. I'm back. Welcome to the Roundtable with me, Robert Bannon. How's everybody doing? Happy Thursday. It's almost Friday. Thank you for being here. I hope you like, comment, share, and subscribe to this channel. If you find yourself here, we're here every single Thursday night with artists talking about art over here at the Roundtable. Thank you all for being here. It's so nice. We're bringing it. We're bringing it. Look at my student, Kevin. Kevin wrote me on YouTube last week and said, I loved your show, Mr. Bannon. Can you please move my desk? On a YouTube comment. Kevin, I loved it so much. Hi, Abby. How are you? Good to see you. Enjoy your vacation. Janelle, I hope you're enjoying your vacation. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Roundtable. Like I said, it's a special show that I'm really excited about. Look at this. This came to me, and my office called me today at work, and they said, you have a delivery. And I said, no, I don't. No, I don't. And these beautiful flowers came. So do something to make someone smile today. A little action, a big action, medium action, whatever action you can do for somebody definitely changes their outlook on the day. And it means a lot. So yes, howdy. We are in for some show. We are in for some show tonight for sure. Hi, Christine. Good to see you, friend. We have a lot to say, and we're going to say it all in a few moments. But first, I want to say thanks to everybody. And if trigger warning, if you're somebody who is a little transphobic or homophobic or don't want to eradicate a race of people based on their gender, or this is not your show, so go find something else to watch because we are making no apologies about it here today. We have want to say big thanks to the 10,000 people who watched last week's New Jersey Housewives, Rachel Fuda and myself chat about being from Richfield Park, New Jersey. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We had a great time, as well as Jasmine Brand of thejasminebrand.com. And the new Roundtable Talk is out and about, and it's with Marva Sugram. Fascinating. Marva Sugram is the nanny to the stars. She is the nanny for Julia Roberts' kids, for Reese Witherspoon, for Courtney Cox, for Laura Dern, etc., etc., etc. And she's giving her tips of the trade. If you've missed the Roundtable Talks, it's the bonus episode that's on every single Tuesday. You can go to YouTube and you can get it. So yeah, there you go. Yes, Kevin, knock your socks off, buddy. So we a teacher's job is never done. Are you ready to hear about my are you ready to hear about my week? All right, pull it together. It's a professional show. I want to give a big, giant shout out to everybody over there at Fort Charles Prime Rib in New York City. They had treated us really well to my dad's birthday dinner. He wanted to have a piece of prime rib at this restaurant, which you heard about, and they were very kind and generous and sweet to us. They have the nicest outdoor dining, like little hut, they made for COVID. It's so beautiful. Everyone made fun of my steak because they said it was very rare, but it was delicious. Don't well done my steak. And Greg was very happy to be celebrated, and we had a good time. He had his little ice cream sundae, and then we took him home, and we had like a real cake. Look at my brother making a rare appearance in the world, and there's Clarence making another appearance on the show as well. So we had a great time celebrating. Thank you. If you were looking for a delicious piece of, well, hello, Darius Wheeler. Darius Wheeler, we were showing these. Were you here for this? Did you miss this? Make someone smile. That's the lesson of the day. Yeah, it was good. It was so good. It was really good. So thank you for having us. It was Greg found it. I don't know how. And I also got to be a part of a reading on Sunday, and I'm going to be a part of the reading again this coming week. They just emailed me. With Oak of Hamilton fame, of Station 19, He has a project that I'm not allowed to talk about, but I thought it was really good. And we both graduated from the same acting school. So I went back to William Esper, where I graduated from my acting conservatory in Meisner training acting. And I haven't been back since because of COVID. So to be able to sit at a table and act with some of my fellow acting friends, especially Oak, was a real honor and a real privilege. So more news on that to come. We're always up here working day and night. So there you have it. We love this show. Well, thank you, Christine. I appreciate it. Look at the fans. Detroit's got fans. Hi, Marie. Good to see you. Yes, Saturday our Broadway lecture series has been postponed to we'll have more Broadway lecture series to come. So please keep on the lookout. And thank you for your checking on me, Marie. And I appreciate you very much. And he doesn't miss anything, Mr. Bannon. Touche, Mr. Wheeler. So let's talk about touche. Let's talk about a shameless plug, shall we? We shall. We shall. When I find the button. The shameless plug. 'Cause I'm shameless. Yes, we have the official graphic from 54 Below to kick off Pride, June 2nd. It's a brand new show. I hope you can join me. Join me right now, June 2nd at 9:30 at night. It's a Friday night, so no excuses that it's late. It's Friday night, it's Pride, and it's New York City. And I'm giving you a code right now for $5 off a ticket. Go get your tickets before they're going because people are coming. It's a Pride playlist party, June 2nd. If you want the link and you want more information, go to robertbannon.com, and there'll be more Pride events and more around the country, God willing, that I'll be sharing with you in the weeks to come. So make sure you come be there. June 2nd, we're going to kick things off. We have some special guests and a brand new set of music that I'll be performing there first before I do it somewhere else. And I'm really excited about it. And speaking of my Broadway lecture series, it's still going ahead in April. The one and only Tony-winning, Grammy-winning superstar star of Dreamgirls. And I am telling you, I'm not going herself. The Miss Jennifer Holliday is coming to Pompton Lakes, New Jersey to sit down with me, to talk, maybe sing a little something, and to meet you. When she did her shows at 54 Below, they charged $500 to meet her. $500. You can meet her and you can see us for less than one Benjamin Franklin. As Biggie said, and this Biggie day, more money, more problems. It's all about the Benjamins. Well, for less than a Benjamin, you can meet Jennifer Holliday. Go to BroadwayLectureSeries.com. Speaking of Benjamins, if you would like to support this little show, it's not little, as Jasmine Brand taught us. If you'd like to support this giant show, you can Venmo at R Bannon, and every dollar that you Venmo over to us goes to promoting and advertising this show, getting more people to watch it, gets more guests to come on the show. So thank you for your love and support. It means so much to me that you join us every single week. Yes. She's got her tickets. She told me she got them. Yeah, $500. $500. That's very true. Hi, Mama Rose. I love you. Thanks for being here as always. My mom gets mad if I don't ask you for money. She does. So that's my story. Do I have other things to talk to you about? I told you about the Broadway lecture series. Yeah. There's the ladies that are joining me the next few months. I told you about 54 Below. This is Christine's favorite part. Here you go, Christine. This one's for you. I'll be there for you. How you doing? Well, our Hey Friend Hey this week has been a frustrating, and I warned you, I gave you the disclaimer. This week has been a frustrating week for many Americans in this country. Sometimes I feel like we are in another country. We have moved forward, but sometimes we take a step back. I want to shout out to the amazing trans artists who have visited the Roundtable, and the amazing drag artists who have visited the Roundtable, the trans men, women, and non-binary performers who have been a part of this show. have been so kind and generous to educate and share their lives with us. And I give a shout out to them and everyone in the queer community for feeling like we are being attacked at the polling place, but we're also being attacked in government, but we're also being attacked on the street. So this show in particular is about raising awareness and coming together. This Pride season, this year and every day is more important than ever. We're going back 51 years from Stonewall, and we're fighting more than we have in a long time as states like Tennessee, Texas, and Florida. Just today in Tennessee, the House passed the second bill banning drag performances and passed a second bill that government employees going to town hall for marriage license, if you are going to town hall as a same-sex couple to get a marriage license, they can deny you based on their own religious feelings. We keep taking steps back, and this show is going. I'm reading your comments. It was given to me, and it was given to me today by my cousin because she thinks she's funny. Yes, I'm allowed to have people in my life, y'all. Yeah. And this is the show to talk about it. The flowers came from the boy too. So a man. Stop. Good night. So anyway, back to the show. So when we have when we have these times that we're living in, what we need to do now more so than ever is to band together. It doesn't matter what your sexual orientation is, what your gender is. It doesn't matter who you are, what you are. What matters is that together as people, and you'll hear Miss Angelica Ross talk about it, this is not a queer issue. This is not a trans issue. This is not a drag issue. This is a human rights issue. They said last weekend that they, in the CPAC convention, that they wanted to eradicate trans people. Well, as a teacher of people who have trans students, and as somebody who has friends who are in the trans community or non-binary community, this is not okay. So this is not a taxes issue. This is not an issue about, well, I like to keep more money. I believe in big business. I like small. No, this is about people. And how do I get away with it in a classroom is one of the most famous questions that people ask me. And the answer to that question is, I don't talk politics in a classroom. I don't give my opinion in a classroom. I don't tell you who I vote for in a classroom. But people and treating people well is not a political issue. If you're racist, if you're sexist, if you're homophobic, if you're transphobic, Islamophobic, classist, et cetera, that is not a political issue. Treating people with equality and fairness is not political. This is not a political issue. This is a human rights issue. So I'm going to let them say it better than I can. Shout out to Anthony Preston and Speak. A is out there on the street, Ally Central, for giving her, sharing her own thoughts and feelings. She has way more rainbow clothes than I do. I hope she wears them on Sunday at the Oscars. So what we're going to do is we are going to tonight hear from Ultra Naté, who's a legendary dance artist. We're going to hear from the amazing Angelica Ross. She's back. Angelica Ross is back on the show. I love her. And the amazing Mila Jam. And they're going to tell their experience. And there's a new song called Fierce. It's out. It's by Anthony Preston, is an amazing producer. He's worked with Britney Spears. He's worked with divas across the board. He's a dance diva, and he put out this song, Fierce, which is so good. The video is out. Stream the video, watch the video, listen to the video, and every dollar, penny, cent that's made from this video, streaming it and watching it on YouTube or on Spotify or on Tidal or on Apple Music or wherever you listen to music, goes to GLAAD. It goes to the Marsha P. Johnson Library. It goes to the Sylvia, I'm going to forget her last name. It goes to the Sylvia Rodriguez Law Library, and it goes to all organizations that are out there fighting the fight for law and lawyers to fight for equal rights. So there you go. I may have did this right. I may have made the mistake, but I'll get back to you in a minute. Ultra Naté is a dance legend. She was here. I was in my classroom. It was lunch. Take a peek. You know, being from New Jersey and being of a certain age, I can tell you many a nights at the Sound Garden in Lodi, and just playing over the loudspeaker may have been, I did some research, 23 top 30 dance hits, 7 #1 hits. Ultra Naté is a legendary artist, everybody, and I am so excited that she's here. Welcome to the show.
Yay, hello, love. How are you?
I've spent a lot of time, I'm telling you, I've spent a lot of time to do what I want to do. I mean, Free is a classic. You are a classic voice, and it's an honor to have you here.
But thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, if you don't mind going back a little bit in time, from what I understand, you're from Maryland, and you grew up falling in love with music, and you were inspired by a lot of artists that sometimes think outside of the box, like a Boy George and a different artists in that way. Have you always been someone who was ready to dance and twirl and have fun, but you have such messages and meanings in your music?
It's true. I've always been ready for the party. I've always been a party girl, and I've always loved, making the music, move you on the dance floor. Very, very important for it to, have the bang shang-a-lang, but also for it to give you a little something extra to go home and think about, or to insinuate itself in your life in a way that becomes more than just about that particular moment you were on the dance floor, that maybe like the lyric, the melody, things speak to you in a way that you find love and support and something to fortify you in there in the messaging.
Well, I can't wait to talk to you about the new album and the new single and the new video and all of the things and the cause that is near and dear to my heart. And I'm so grateful for you doing all that you do. But we were talking about this memory lane in the 90s and 2000s. And you've consistently put out top 10 dance classics that are played all around the world. And what I joked about Free, but here's a throwback to the 90s. And ladies and gentlemen, that's called and people, that's called a record. That's
just in case you forgot. Never knew.
And I listened to this song all week in anticipation of you being here. I remember the movie. I love this song. You three sound so gorgeous on it. If you could read my mind. It's a good movie. It's a great song. And then I was also listening to this cover from the Pointer Sisters, which originally, and then your cover of this is a bop, bop, bop. You
gotta have the bops, darling.
You gotta have the bop. And I could keep going and going and going. But congratulations on your new album called Ultra, which is out. You can stream it. It's out right now. You need to be listening to it. We were listening to it in Jersey, right here at lunch in the 5th grade classroom. You're Spotified out here in the room 214 in North Bergen. Tell us a little bit about your ideas behind this album and what we hear on it when we listen.
So the Ultra album was primarily written during pandemic lockdown. I mean, I was in the process of working on my next album, which now I'm at number 10 with Ultra album. I was in the process of writing towards an album with a different theme, different title. And then the lockdown happened. And obviously, it impacted all of us. It impacted the world in such a way that we were all in this unified state of, wonder, like what just happened to our lives. And obviously we all had a lot of time on our hands, a lot more than we ever envisioned. But there was a lot of fear. There was a lot of sadness going on. There was a lot of everything really brought to the forefront. And, as an artist, it's twofold. It's how do I create self-healing and how do I cope and for myself, while at the same time realizing if I'm feeling this disastrous inside, then people around the world, are obviously feeling the exact same kind of impact. And how do I speak to that? How do I, help that in my little microcosm of the world? And part of that is creating music, and which is cathartic for me. It gave me a sense of purpose every day to get up. I put myself on a schedule, every day working towards these songs. I hadn't had the liberty of taking downtime like that in quite a long time in order to just focus on writing and recording and producing. So if there was an upside anywhere in that madness, like that was that was probably it. And that my plan and my work focus was very specific, and I just spoke about the things that I was seeing around me, things that were impacting me, things that I felt would speak to other people in ways. When I wrote songs like Happy Feeling, I mean, it was something that I wanted it to be very simplistic in that, because it was so much misery at every moment. You're finding out about friends and family and associates being extremely ill, some dying, people losing their jobs, people losing their income, losing their livelihoods. The whole industry had gone belly up and nobody was able to travel. No one was able to interact just with their peers, with family. It was just really tragic on a lot of levels. So it was something so simple in saying, I just want a happy feeling again. I just want something very minimal like that to just make me smile and feel good and feel joyous again. So it was those kind of stories that I put together in a comprehensive work. And I felt like it was really like a great time and place for this kind of record to speak. And I got to work with some people that I hadn't had the opportunity to work with before, because our schedules were just kind of, nuts. And so that, it lended itself to like a lot of really great things. And in the aftermath, I have this amazing work to look at and stand really proud as my 10th album in representation of, 30 plus years in this industry. It's monumental for me.
And I love the idea of an album, because now I loved as a kid going to the Coconuts or Tower Records or wherever, buying an album, listening to it from beginning to end and hearing the arc. And now in the world where it's streaming and singles, to be able to listen to this from beginning to end and hear your story and your intention of putting this together, I think is such a great way to listen to what you have to say.
Yeah, I hope that people really do listen to the album in its entirety, and in the way it's synced, because these things are put together in a way that it all comes together. It's a body of work done in a very specific way, and that's kind of the only thing that's missing from like the new streaming universe that we're living in, is that people cherry pick like the songs that they know and then kind of skip over things. But the upside of that too is, whatever drove you to that place to listen to this song, you're going to possibly discover other things that you may not have known about. So there's an upside and a downside to it. But I totally get and miss the whole go to the record store and just like spend time in the day in there absorbing music, tangibles, things that you held in your hand and art that you could see and liner notes that you could read, and really kind of put yourself inside the experience of the artists that make this work,
I loved it. That's what I missed that as well. I want to know, where'd you record it? Who was the musician? The whole thing, that I was that nerdy music kid in there. Mm-hmm. You look and sound like you have not aged one day from 1990.
I stopped that in the 90s. I gave up on that.
Everyone last year, and I told this to Mila and I've told this to Miss Ross and all, last year I heard a song, Anthony Preston put out the song. I was invited to, Angelica Ross was on the show for Pride. I was invited to a party. She played the song and I said, what is this song? Call me mother. I was ready.
Yes.
And you come in out of, it's a new revolution. You come in out of this velvet tone, this beautiful voice that and recognize that voice. But then the words of the song about working hard for what you've got, and music is a judgment-free zone. And I said, where are we going with this song? Because this is going to have a message. And then you hear the whole piece that is fierce, which is an homage to people, but especially the queer and marginalized communities. Mm-hmm. I heard a rumor that this was your song. An idea came about to bring these powerhouses together and to really say something that you feel needs to be said. So can you tell us a little bit about it?
Absolutely. So it seems like, because music moves so fast and the industry moves so fast, it seems like it was ancient eons ago for me now. But it was actually during the time when I was writing for my Hero Worship album. So 2 albums ago, because there was Black Stereo Faith in between where we are now with Ultra. But I was writing for my Hero Worship album. And, a lot of times, because I'm running around the world, I'm navigating studio time with different people that I want to work with. I had known Anthony for quite a while. I met him through Chris Willis, actually, when he was working with Chris in a collaborative process or just working for his team. And so in one of my many LA trips in that period of time, so I was going to LA a lot, it seemed, for some reason. And we had been threatening to get together to collaborate on something. We didn't really have anything specific in mind, just to work on something together. But, you know, one of those trips, I was like, okay, we're gonna get this together. We're gonna get this right. We're gonna do this. We're gonna make it work with our ridiculous schedules, and you know, so we just pulled that together. And the time was so short because I was still cramming so many meetings and things in a very short span of time. So Anthony had songs. He and his partner Andre already had a catalog of songs already done. So we didn't need to not waste time, but to try to maximize the time that I had while I was there. It was easier to work with what was already created as opposed to writing from scratch. So he had a couple songs he played for me. I recorded actually a couple songs while I was there. And this song was one of them. When I heard the demo, I really liked it. I liked the messaging. But the intention at that time was I was working with people, just kind of, seeding things around to come up with collaborations for what would be my next album. And I kind of left it at that because it was with Anthony. It was his baby. And I, went on running around the world and doing my thing. And, at some point he would circle back around and be like, okay, I've worked on the production and here's the update or whatever. So when that moment came, it was a bit of time had gone by, but he wanted to make it into this thing that talked about, what was happening with specifically with trans rights, and thought the song would be a really great piece as an initiative for, speaking out about that and incorporating, some significant artists, part of the trans world, and getting their support on it, but also performing on it. And thus, I believe Mila came in. He worked with Mila first and put her on it, and then Angelica. So, he kind of gave me updates as things were progressing, and I'm like, yep, great, perfect, love it, keep me posted. And that's pretty much how it all started. And here we are now in 2023.
And there you are now. And the video is just out. You need to go to YouTube and stream the video because you give looks and looks and looks and fashion. And you have a million cameos in this video. Everyone and anyone is popping up, walking a runway and giving a little moment.
Yes.
The song
There's a lot of love and support from the community. And I have to, give a lot of that credit also to Angelica Ross and EJ, her manager, and their whole Crowd Entertainment company, because they pulled in a lot of people to really support this and really kind of got the messaging out there to quite a few different people, so that there was this general spirit of community and a unified goal, and in getting this messaging out, and everyone lending their celebrity or their platform or whatever to something that was really important to all of us.
Well, you have always been an advocate for the community. You have always stood strong for causes that you believed in. Reading about you and all of the work and charity and events that you have done throughout your career. And then for you, all three of you, to give the proceeds of this to these organizations, from GLAAD to Sylvia Rivera Law Foundation to Marsha P. Johnson Library. Like, you have taken your words and your art and put it to use in a time where we need it more than ever.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's gone ballistic now, really. The hypocrisy and the gaslighting is phenomenal. And so it's really important for everyone that, really supports and understands to not get blindsided by, the old banana in the tailpipe that's going on here, and really drill down on what's happening, because it's happening in a lot of different places. And that's how these things start. They start as small little ticks here and there, and then it slowly builds to become a tsunami. And before you know it, the whole wave is taking over everything, and you've gone so far that you can't get back from it. And I think, the problem a lot of times with us in America is that we kind of get complacent with things, and we think, oh, that happened 20, 40, 70 years ago. That can never happen now, because we're also, so forward thinking, and we're so, technologically advanced now, like those things can't happen. But yeah, no, it's happening, and it's starting, on the bottom levels in courts, in the lower courts, and in districts, and building slowly, like little tiny beams. It's not accidental. These are all by design. They're all by design.
And it's women, it's the queer community, it's going to be a race issue, it's going to be an economic issue. It's something that we need to pay attention.
Not even going to be.
Always.
Has been. Because those kids know how to fight on all the fronts.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times, we get in our, elevated place. We're higher thinking and trying to, move forward. We're so busy moving forward that we're not looking at, how folks that are trying to malign all of these marginalized communities are navigating their situation, because they're sitting back and planning, and they have been planning for quite a while. So you have to meet them where they are, and you cannot be complacent. You cannot be quiet. You cannot sit on your laurels, and you cannot assume that this can't happen.
You're my kind of people. You are. I am so in awe, and I said this to Mila the other day. I said, you three need to be at every Pride event. You need to be singing this song from here straight through June. If you're in Edgewater, New Jersey, at the Fitness Factory at 7 o'clock at night, I will be on the elliptical machine.
I love it.
Legendary. I am doing it. Oh, full choreography right there in the middle.
Absolutely.
Everyone, if you want to follow this legend, this icon, go to Instagram, follow on Instagram. You can go to the website, ultranaté.com, and make sure you stream Fierce and you stream the new album Ultra, out, available wherever music is heard. Follow, stay on top of it. See her when she's around your neighborhood live, and we're waiting for more music and more fun. And thank you for the advocacy and the work, and that you made a choice to stand up for this community, and it means a lot to a lot of us. So thank you so much.
This community has always been very important to me. This community has been really the first community that ever supported my art, and continues to support my art in many, many different ways behind the scenes. So, it's part of my life, and it has always been a part of my life, not just now when things are getting hairy out here in these streets, but, just really legit from the beginning of my career. It was the gay community, the LGBTQIA plus, whatever, have always been extremely supportive of who I am and what I do and what I bring to my art. So I appreciate all of it.
Right back to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
There you have it, Ultra Naté, everybody. One part of this trio of amazing performers that put this Fierce single out that's raising money for great causes across this country in these times, for sure. What a star. What a sweetheart. We're going to talk to Angelica Ross, who is going to come at you all. But I just want to say, next week we have Alexandra Gray, trans actress, star of, she was on Empire, she was on MacGyver, was the star of The Life, directed by Billy Porter, will be here. And also Byron Perkins, who's the first out football player from a historic Black college or university, giving his story. And we will continue to use this show to lift voices of marginalized communities. It is the reason why I left the old show and left the co-host in the dust, to be able to have this show, to be able to speak for people who need a place to speak. So thank you for supporting the show, because it's through your viewership and through the eyes that are on this that hopefully we, in a small little way, I hope that this can open your mind. I was in a meeting today about a student, and somebody, I'm going to say it, somebody was talking about, oh, I don't like the pronouns. I don't like those pronouns. I don't think they make, none of your business. Who asked you? We need to just love and support one another, and to accept one another and what makes us comfortable and feel safe. This world is so scary. Can we all just be nice? Can we all just let them live your life and let me live my life? So that's what the show is all about. And then Jerry Springer's coming on. We can all be all smart and strong, but then we can be trashy, trashy, trash. So welcome to this mess. We have so many shows. I've done so many interviews. I can't wait to bring them to you. Angelica Ross came on this show last June for Pride, and I was agah, because she's one of my favorite people. I know A's watching. A and me went and saw her in Chicago. She's amazing. We'll talk about it. And she's going to give you all the tea on how she feels about what's going on. And I'm so honored that she chose to be here with us. We are excited. She was everything. She is everything. We went to her party. Me and Sam went to her party last year. You'll get the tea. Everyone, Miss Ross is in the house. One of my favorite people asked me who my favorite interview was, and Miss Ross is where it's at, because not only did she tell us to have a V8, she brings us the truth and the joy. And I had the extreme pleasure to see her in Chicago. I've had the extreme pleasure to see her perform live. Her original music, I'm just a fan, stan for Angelica Ross, ladies and gentlemen. She's going to tell us all about her road to Fierce and all that she's doing. Angelica Ross, welcome back.
Thank you. Hi, how are you?
Oh, it's so good to see you. I had the best time seeing you as Roxie Hart in Chicago.
When I tell you, I am so glad that I have such a photographic memory, because I spent so much time on stage, like recording videos from that moment, just so that I know that I could always remember and feel that feeling again. It was amazing.
You were amazing. You were amazing. You know what I loved? We know you're acting. We now know you're singing, but you doing it together and the choreography, you brought such heart and character and nuance to Roxie. I lived for it.
Thank you so much.
It was so wonderful to see. Well, I know we're supposed to have a V8, like I joke and say, but we are living in some crazy, crazy times, and you are doing some crazy, amazing work with Fierce and with your organization and everything that you stand for. So let's just get to it. Can you tell us a little bit about Anthony Preston puts this song together and you join on, and now not only are you taking this song and making us dance and have a good time, but you all are doing something so special with it. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, I mean, it was really such a great experience being introduced to this whole project and just the intention of the project. And, and then I, for one, have always been a fan of Ultra Naté, and obviously since the iconic song Free, like that set so many of us free. And then to be in this space where I am now collaborating on a song with someone who is just so iconic and talented. And then to add Mila Jam as well, first it was like Ultra on the song, then Mila joined on the song, and then I kind of tapped in last and started and did the hook of the song, and it just proves that like timing is everything, sometimes just timing is everything. So I'm really, really appreciative for this moment to be able to share this with Ultra and Mila.
Well, the three of you, firstly, the video everyone needs to watch. Ultra just said to us that your team, Miss Ross and team, EJ and the whole management team brought together the amazing cameos in this video.
Oh yeah, I mean, I was personally texting people for such a long time, like so many people from the video, like Frank Gatza, who is incredible and directed the video. It was like they were all asking us, like, listen, did you follow up with this person? Can we get this person? And Frank Gatson also, he was just not only such an amazing director, but he called in so many favors. Shantae Moore was there, Money Long was there, and I'm just standing there like, what is my life right now? It was incredible.
Well, and the three of you bring looks and a runway, and you give all sorts of the shade and the looks and the
and hair whips and all kind of things.
It's true.
And pasties. Oh my God, I had to like prepare my parents for that one because I had to give them body.
That's what you say. Well, it's there. Look at these three voices singing. When you stream the song and you watch the video, the proceeds are all going to amazing charities, from GLAAD to the Sylvia Johnson Law Foundation to the Marsha P. Johnson music. Everything that you all are doing, go stream it. We need as much support as we can.
Yes.
What idea come out to make this a bigger mission than just a song?
Say that again.
When did the idea come to take the song and make it not just a song and a video, but to turn this into a real anthem and rallying cry for these times?
Well, I know originally I had some conversations with Anthony Preston, and he had talked about just how he wanted to use whatever his gift was, whatever his contribution was, to be able to open up the conversation. And we just had a lot of conversations, even obviously within the LGBTQ communities. Just because someone's gay, just because someone's Black, doesn't mean they understand the life of Black trans women. And so there's been a learning curve with everybody involved. And it's always been something that whenever I'm involved in anything, especially when people want to do something for a community and be allies for a community, one of the most important things that you have to understand is you have to actually listen to that community in order to be allies to that community. So just doing things on your own, or just, creating certain things without trans people, as well-meaning as it can be, it will not have the impact that it should have unless you lead with those voices. And so I'm just really appreciative, that our voices, Mila Jam and Ultra Naté, have been able to bring this conversation up, especially when it comes to not only trans rights and the things that are going on, but when we talk about allies, well, I think we'll realize that some of our fiercest allies are going to be women as each other, understanding that we are not each other's enemy, whether you are cis, trans, or non-binary. Wherever you fit on that spectrum, there's so much more strength in numbers. And once we understand and how to advocate for and with each other, I think that we can work together to topple the patriarchy.
Preach. I loved what this stands for, and I love what you say when you follow. We follow Miss Ross on the social,
on all the platforms. Yes.
I didn't go to Angelica Ross. You when you speak, but what I have learned is, as doesn't matter if I'm queer or not, as a white man in this world, as a white cis man, I can't tell you how to feel and what your experience is. I can't write it. I can't act it. I can only listen and try to understand. And we don't listen. We don't listen to each other. So for you, speaking your truth, not only through your organization, teaching tech and coding, et cetera, to trans people that for jobs, sometimes I feel like we get stuck on the minutia, and I want people to work and feel safe and have. How do you deal with all the noise, especially the past few weeks? You're a very spiritual person. I know that. So what do you do to keep yourself calm when you want to, I don't know, throw your television out the window?
Well, let me just say and reiterate that I am also human. And so I correct people so many times that I am not a trans rights advocate. I'm a human rights advocate because I'm a human. And I advocate for other humans to have just as much as respect and dignity as I'm asking for. What I know that I have to do is I have to unplug so many times, because I've gotten to moments where I've been ready to scream and really flip tables. And to be honest, that's where we should be. Mm-hmm. We need to be at the point right now where we need to start flipping some tables, because they're not really getting the education talk and the what have you. They always say that we're always the LGBTQ army. We're always upset and angry at things or whatever, but they're overlooking, really gaslighting us, because they're overlooking the fact of how much education, how much sit down time we have done to actually explain these issues, and people still want to remain willfully ignorant. So how I have been able to protect myself from all the noise is that I have been searching for higher ground. I have been heading towards higher ground. And I also say that because I'm dropping the title of my next single, Higher Ground, with Terrell Carter. But it just really is about that. One of the lines in the song is like, when love is, if love is on the table, we wouldn't have to hide. If love was on the table, we wouldn't have to try so hard to make this work. Love shouldn't hurt. And so the thing that I do is I try to surround myself around people who get it. And those who don't, there is enough education out here in the world. There is YouTube. There are so many advocates out here to follow and listen to. So at this point, it's a choice not to understand. It's a choice not to be a good ally, because being a good ally is about listening, and it's about following the lead of the people that you claim to respect and support.
Yes. We're going to listen. And it's thanks to people who really put their life on the line and show your life and share so much that gives us the education that we so thank you. 300 plus laws are on the books, everybody. it's queer rights, it's women's rights, it's trans rights, it's human rights. It's a human rights issue. 300 laws on the books. And as a educator in New Jersey, I hear some of the most scary things from teachers, from parents, and we need to protect, the youth of this country and who they are and their authentic self more than ever. There's so much.
We need to respond is what we need to do. The situation is that because we're the United States and there's 50 different states, and because people always push things to a state issue, it puts our people in a position to think that it's none of their business right now, or it's not their issue right now, because I don't live in Ohio where the train has derailed and poisoned the water. I don't live in Sandy Hook where the children were shot up. I don't live in, we're in Tennessee or in Florida where Ron DeSantis is doing this. So that's not my issue. When the reality is, it is our issue. This is our country. We call ourselves Americans in this way that's supposed to have some collective meaning as Americans, as if they're supposed to have some collective meanings. Well, if it does, then we need to collectively say no, and we need to collectively rise up in this moment, regardless of what state it's in. We have to be able to have a response, and that's what responsibility is about. It's about having the ability to respond. So my question is, in this time with all these bills going down, what is your response? I know mine. I know what my girls are doing. I know what trans people are doing. What's your response?
Call to action, and that's it. It's a call. They said the words last weekend, Miss Ross. They were going to eradicate America. Eradicate. If that's not genocide wording, eradicate. We're not joking. This is not a joke.
It's not a joke.
It's not a joke.
Even though some comedians think that it is, but it's just not.
For sure. Well, that's why art has always been a beacon of light and hope. And as an artist, using your giving us a vessel to be able to put this out there. And that's what you do always. I want to say to you, listen to the other singles.
Yes.
Gorgeous, 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 fierce. I had the chance. I was pinkies up, invited to a listening party. And last year and we looked good. You looked good. You had this black ensemble and the hair was all done. And
yes.
Go on my Instagram and find the pictures, because it was a cute moment. But
it was such a moment.
Did you have a good party with some fun food and some fun drinks? You sang your teeth out up there with this beautiful band, beautiful background singers, and a beautiful message. How's it been? You have new music coming out. What can we expect?
Wow, I have so much music on the way. Just in time for Pride season. I'm extremely excited about this song that I have coming out called Purr. The kids are going to go insane. It's going to be just a moment. I'm so excited about it. But really what it was doing Broadway broke me open in such a way, because I had to find a way to show up and do 8 shows a week. And I care so much about my fans, because I would not be where I am right now without my fans, the ones who will correct you about my history and tell you I've been doing music since MySpace days. I love my fans. And so after I realized I could do 8 shows a week, I felt like there was nothing I couldn't do. And I was so ready now to do my own show. And to be able to walk into the space and do a one-woman show where I both am able to drop some gems and provide a word for some people, as well as speak to their hearts, as well as sing to their hearts. That is what the future, that's what my next step looks like, is because you saw in that room, but even when I went to the University of Wisconsin-Madison, whether I'm speaking or whether I'm singing, the spirit is moving in a room that makes people feel more welcome and more included. And that's what I want to be involved in. It's just spaces and conversations that make people feel more included.
Well, that's why you have spoken from the White House to Stonewall to, I know you speak at conferences literally around, from South America to overseas to all around the world. You're as someone out there speaking and educating us all on the issues that matter to you. And it's wonderful to watch. Not only art, she is not, the characters you play sometimes are super duper claws, but you are, I saw you at the stage door at Chicago meet and greet every single person. You always lead with such kindness and generosity. You're just a generous spirit. You're just very giving, and it shows.
Thank you. Well, honestly, I tried to bring that to like roles like Nurse Rita or actually Donna Chambers, but you know, bringing that to them because I didn't learn until the 4th episode of that season that my father was a serial killer. I didn't really know what was going on. I was just getting the scripts day by day, you know, sort of situation. So as I sat with Mr. Jingles across the table from him, all my energy that came from was I really wanted to, I feel that no one is born evil. And so I wanted to bring this energy and try to understand and bring this sort of angelic space to it. So even when I do play questionable characters, there's always a way, because as an actor, what my job is to make that person real. And to make that person real is to humanize them, is to make it at least understand their humanity and what their choices are. It doesn't excuse it, but I'm at least you know, humanizing her.
I'm gonna have to sit and think about what you can't do, because act, sing, the advocate work, the charity.
Don't spend too much time on that. Trust. Don't spend too much time on it.
No. Coding, the tech stuff, everything you put your mind to, you make things happen. You're one of the most beautiful people inside and out. It really radiates, and I am always so honored to be able to spend a few moments with you, and that you share your story and some of your words with us. Fierce, the video. Be legendary, be necessary, extraordinary, fierce. Call me mother.
Yeah.
It's gonna take you all the way right through June and through the rest of this year.
Oh baby, the kids have been waiting for this music video. This music video has been like a year or two in the making, so I'm glad that they finally decided to release it.
And Anthony, who I know works very closely with you and makes music with you, he's a legendary producer, Anthony Preston, who put this. He is a really kind, generous guy as well, and his foundation and everything that everyone's doing is top of the line. It's so good to see you. Congratulations. We'll be watching, we'll be following, we'll be voting, and we'll be learning, and we'll be speaking, and we're here.
Thank you so much for being here. Thank you.
I love her. Yes. Thank you, Marie. I'll give you smiles and a joy. You'll have to come on. I want to hear your story. I would try. And yes, what's your response? It's not enough to just say, I don't agree with that. Or it's not enough to just be passive. It's time to say something. It's time to stand up and say something for sure. I went back in the archives and found the picture of us at her listening party. We ate it that night. Come on now. Come on. She's so gorgeous. My goodness. You better bring good face if you're going to take a picture with Angelica Ross. So I had to give the full moment. In my classroom the other day, oh gosh, God bless you, Lori Smart. Thank you, friend. I so appreciate you. Thank you. It's time, right? You know, when I talked to Angelica Ross, this show came out during the pandemic. My life kind of exploded over the past 5 years or so. And I remember watching Pose and seeing her as Candy. Now to call some of the people in that show my friends or enemies, which is another story, and be have the more authentic and open I've been about my life, the more that the universe has just responded. So let's just take the leap, right? Let's go. It's just a moment of reflection. I'm so grateful to be able to be here and to have a platform where Angelica Ross would want to come on today in these times when laws were literally passed today in Tennessee about anti-trans, anti-drag, anti-queer laws. I use this platform is beyond. I can't even. During my prep the other day, I got a chance to speak to Mila Jam. Mila Jam is a legend in New York nightlife. She's a trans dance queen diva, and I was so excited to talk to her. And in the school, there was a parallel to just take a look. We're at lunch in my day job, as you all know. I'm a school teacher in New Jersey, and as an out educator, I am so much of an advocate of people who live their life authentically. And so in this lunch time in North Bergen, New Jersey, I can't think of someone more important to talk to than Mila Jam. Mila Jam has lived her life authentically and has been on stages and has had hit singles across the board.
It's Raining Them is my song. So Mila Jam is here, and we're going to talk all things Fierce, her new music video, and everything. Welcome to the Roundtable, Miss Mila Jam. Thank you so much for being here.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me.
You are New York nightlife legend, now just dance legend across the board. So it's such an honor to have you here.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Before we talk about your new single and all of the things that are going on and your career, you come from Illinois, you're raised in Georgia, and at some point you decided that art is where your life passion belonged, and you moved here to New York City.
Mm-hmm.
We've had a lot of AMDA graduates and students on this show.
Alumni.
Tell us, at what age did you realize I want to be an artist?
Oh my goodness. I think I realized when I was like 5 years old. It kind of just was always in my blood. I grew up doing local TV shows and talent shows, and I'm, the kid that wanted to be a star, and I just knew that it was a part of my experience, but I just wanted to like work on my craft and get better and become like so invested in, what it meant to be a performer and an entertainer, because I also feel like, I'm a storyteller and I want to bring joy to people's lives through like telling stories and uplifting them through different mediums in the entertainment industry, which, encompasses music and dance and theater and TV and film. So ever since I could remember, my mom had me in rehearsals and taking me to auditions, and it has been quite a journey.
Well, when you did the national tour of Rent and toured around the country, and then what I found so fascinating researching your career is that while you were on tour, I guess maybe I could be wrong, on your downtime, you decide to make some parody videos, play around on YouTube, and then Mila, it exploded into millions and millions of views and a viral sensation that you created out of thin air.
Yeah, I was touring with Rent. In between shows, we had time to explore and go out and do things. And I was, I've always been so innovative and creative, and I just like to put my energy into creating things, and that's art and theater. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to make some videos on YouTube. And the very first video I actually did was called Flaws and All. And I remember being somewhere in the Midwest, and it was a late night where we were on tour in our hotel, and like I ended up just like getting all dolled up and going into a gym with like two of the actors in my show, and we just were like, let's just make something fun and silly. And then it like made it on the Perez Hilton, and it was on like all these different blogs. And because of that, I just was like, every time we went to a new city, I was just thinking about making up a new video and just recreating the videos as best as I could see. And if you even think about it, like this is at the beginning of YouTube, where YouTube was still a baby and it was the it thing. And I still see people doing something similar today. They kind of have a Whitney Houston effect, where they like to recreate the video or the performance. So I did a bunch of them, and they started to go viral and started to collect millions of views. Lip Gloss, Umbrella, When I Grow Up by the Pussycat Dolls. And I'd bring in friends. Laverne Cox was in one of my videos, and all of just my community. And yeah, I just pop culture at its best.
Pop culture at its best. How did that transition? Because it's not easy to do parody videos that hit and click, and you have to have a lot of talent and you have creativity.
Yeah.
And you being an actress and coming from AMDA or an artist, when I went to acting school, my teacher used to say comedy and art and everything, it comes on ideas. What's the next idea? The next idea, and always reinventing and having something ready to go. Did you always know that being a solo artist and putting out singles and being a recording artist was where you ultimately wanted to head?
Yeah, it's interesting because I always felt like I had to go through all of these different phases of my life to get to where I really wanted to be. And I think that some people are really fortunate to have it just happen. And I don't know if they really appreciate that later in their lives. But I think of child stars and child actors that become really big and famous when they're very young, before they even had like a life journey. It's kind of like we go along with them. And I think mine was a little different in the opposite, where I'd been trying to become like this known entity like all of my childhood. And so as I'm just creating, I'm thinking about like, I really want to be an artist. I want to be taken seriously. I have things to say. I want to use my voice to stand up for how, you know, I feel and how I support myself, which happens to be a part of a beautiful queer community and just being in my truth and my authentic self. And that took me going through theater, that took me going through parodies, that took me going through, you know, working with a record label and trying to make music happen, and that kind of running its course and then starting over. Even my YouTube parody videos, at one point, it just got to the point where I couldn't sustain them because of copyright issues, and I had to stop doing them. And I just figured, you know what? I would rather put that energy into my own work as opposed to trying to be the best you instead of trying to be someone else.
Amen. Preach. I hear that, because that's the truth. I can remember the first single that I heard talking about putting out lessons and songs and having something to say. They're not only just fun dance records and party records. You have singles that are serious, have serious messages, and really the first one I remember was this song.
Yes, God and Guns.
God and Guns. I remember a friend of mine showing it to me and hearing it. Your voice is beautiful, and the message. And then, but you hide all of these nuggets of information. You're not just writing, we're dancing on a box and having a good old time. There is a lot of truth and inspiration in your writing and your songs.
Yeah, I believe as a marginalized person with very many different intersections, it's important to highlight all of the different sides of what I feel and go through, as well as what I want and hope for everyone else. And I do think it's really awesome to be able to just, come Mr. DJ, some on the replay, do like something just like about dancing and having fun. And trust me, I'm going to do more of that and have more songs that are just about enjoying yourself. But it's empowering and it's important. And we have to be empowered, because there are a lot of things that are coming at us, especially the queer community right now, that are not about empowering us, that are about erasing us. And I think that, this is something we've been fighting since the beginning of time, where trans people and gay people and queer people have always been a part of the existence of humanity, but we've always been shunned and pushed aside and vilified. And I just believe that we're never going to be evaporated. We're never going to be go away. We're never going to be evaporated. It's always going to be a fight for us, but we always prevail and we always keep pushing forward. And that is what I want people to know about my music. That's what I stand for. I stand for us being who we are and being unapologetic and bringing light to the world, because we're a gift.
And you sure are. And I was, not to be so corny and deep and cheesy, as I said in the beginning, but as a school teacher that teaches 5th and 6th grade, and the students know my personal life because it's out there. I've had a lot of students who have come to me and they either tell me that they're part of the queer community. I have had students who've come back and talked about their trans journey or their non-binary journey, and their family doesn't understand, and the school doesn't respect or understand the journey that's ahead of them. And I so wish that when I was a little queer boy here in New Jersey, that I had someone like you to look up to see that there is a happy ending with it takes fights, but there's a happy life. There's a community of people who will love and accept you. And that's not always the message that I was taught. So when I see your music and see your representation, it moves me deeply.
Thank you. It continues to not be taught, and it's continuing to grow into more ways of distraction and making it seem like there is a hidden agenda. And we are so much more resilient than people realize. And I think that the young kids who are coming up in the community that are non-binary, that are trans, that are even just allies, because they're going to have to deal with a lot of this as well, need to see not only positive reinforcement, but need to know that it is okay to grow and to fight to be yourself and to be who you are. And that a lot of us have been told we were, bad people growing up. We had to deal with adversity and being bullied, But you know what? There's another side to that, you know, and you have to start with yourself. You have to really believe in yourself. And it helps to have people like to see yourself. I wish I had someone that I could look up to when I was coming up. Most of those people were icons that are pop divas, you know, that are like the Whitney Houstons and the Mariah Careys and the Britney Spears. And I would hope that someone can look at my work and feel inspired and feel empowered to be their best selves and have a good time.
Well, I know that for sure. I was joking about this single before we started with "It's Raining Them," and if you want a dance song that includes everybody, that makes everyone feel a part of it,
Yeah,
stream
right,
this.
get into it.
Get into it. We have had Miss Martha Wash on this show talking about it, and we and you do it some justice. You better belt and squelch your face off. Let's talk real quick. This single that's out, that Pretty One Rock. Oh my goodness, this music video. All my friends were posting it all weekend, and I was like, I have Mila with me on this morning. The video is stunning. Your new video that's out is stunning. Tell us a little bit about it.
So Pretty One Rock is actually a reimagination of my song Pretty One that came out a few years ago, which is all about like seeing yourself in the mirror and knowing that from the inside out that you are pretty. And we are all pretty ones. And I wanted to do something different. We did this rock version to kind of mix it up and give you a little bit of flavor, something different to just rock to, right? No one really thinks of me in rock music, but I love all genres of music. I love country, I love pop, I love rap, I love rock. And I wanted to just give it a little bit of a different vibe. And I teamed up with one of my favorite directors, Frank Basha, has done many videos for me. He actually shot the original Pretty One music video, and we've known each other for a very long time. And I said to him, and the fun thing is the way we work is if I send him something, he is a Pisces like me. He's like, if it moves me, well, sorry about that.
No, please.
He's like, if it moves me and it makes me feel good, I would love to do it with you. And so we got onto this and we teamed up with Anthony Manfredonia, the designer who made all of the looks in the music video. He's styled Beyonce, he's styled Nicki Minaj and BB Rexha and Shakira. He's worked with some huge icons. And he came to me and was like, I would love to work on a project with you. I want to design the whole thing and creative direct. I said, yes. So the three of us sat down, came up with this idea. We wanted to really combine glam and fearlessness with this rock element. I wanted to do something that had like a little bit of a Barbarella feel to it. And the coolest thing about the video, in my opinion, is the parachute sheet that we use is actually from the Broadway show Rent. It was something that I reached out to the team of Rent, and I went into the archives to get a piece of that history because that show changed my life and it means so much to me, and it's still one of my favorite shows. And I was able to get it sent to me from Texas, from a wardrobe like archive in Texas to use it for the music video. So I was like a kid in a candy shop, so excited to actually use this piece of history in my music video. So that will always be like my favorite part about it. And memories of doing Rent and the whole segment where Angel goes through transitioning and transforming. And it was just so important to me.
So that's literally like the contact sheet. Like that is the
yeah, it's the contact sheet where they use it in the show. And I feel like really lucky to be able to have access to that and to use it. So it's very sacred to me. And now it's commemorated in my music video.
I love that. Thank you for that scoop, because who would have known? That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, if you have to check out the video, like she's saying, the dancing, the artistry, the visions of it, the pictures that
and it's such a mood, you know, it's such a mood, and it's such the speaking part of it in the beginning, it really just gives me chills, and the way we tell the story and the beauty of like the body movement and the dancers. I love dance, I love movement, I love stories. You can't get any better.
You got to stream it right now. Stream it and then go to YouTube and watch the video. It's beautiful. And then that leads us to talk about another single. A year ago, I get invited sometimes to a fancy night out. So Miss Ross is having a party at the Soho Grand. It's a listening party. I go to eat a little crudité and have a little drink. And then all of a sudden I hear this song and I'm like, what is this song? And you talk about 3 powerhouse singing down singers, Ultra Naté, Angelica Ross, and you, fierce Anthony Preston, a beat and a song together that will have you dance and strut and vogue and pose your way through the dance floor. What was it like to be a part of this and to have this song out? And then the video, talk about looks. Woo!
This video really does embody the fierceness of the song. We turned that video out. I'm really proud of the video. It looks amazing. We are superstars in this video. These divas are so wonderful. This song is really for the trans community, for uplifting trans issues and raising money and awareness for GLAAD and for the Sylvia Rivera Law Project and for the Marsha P. Johnson Institute. And, you know, Ultra Naté is an icon in her own right. She is a Billboard chart-topping dance songstress. I'm just so in awe of her. I love her supporting me. I love supporting her. We are like girlfriends. I can text her and call her if I need her. She's traveling the world internationally. She was the original singer on the first track. And Anthony reached out to me and we had a conversation about the song. And I became the second voice added. And then we brought in Angelica at the very end to round it out because we wanted it to have multiple voices to give it, you know, life. And I think that everyone just really took a hold of their part. You know, Angelica rocking it out on that chorus, be legendary. It's just so great. And I think that, you know, this may not be the last time you see the 3 of us together. I can't say anything. There is nothing yet, but it feels good to support each other. And even Angelica Ross and myself representing the trans community, it's beautiful to have a woman like Ultra Naté be in our corner and be an ally and support us. And I love that we were able to just show up for each other.
Well, you all showed up and showed out. And your verse, if you look at the words to your verse, the second verse of the song, it's really touching. It's deep, but it has a beat to it. And I'll call any of you mother any day, anytime.
And we have so many amazing cameos that came into be a part of this. I mean, like Kaylin Allen is in the video. Yep. Shantae Moore is an R&B legend. Money Long, who is like a huge R&B songstress of the moment, is in the video as well. Just, it really, really brought in a lot of community. We shot it in LA. It was a really fabulous day. We got to really play around and get really funky with our looks. You know, Brandon Garr, who was the designer and the stylist of the shoot and pulled all of the looks totally, like, I mean, we had racks of clothes. It was just so much fun. And I love putting those things together. We really got to shine in it. And it was, I hope that everyone really enjoys the music video. And all the proceeds from streaming the song and watching the video go to those organizations I mentioned. So this is still about a cause.
It's fierce. It's out now. You can.
It's fierce. And A2 Productions, they made a song that really, 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 really rocks.
It is fierce. The video cut is streaming now. You can stream it on wherever you listen to music. You could watch the music video. It's all super duper. It's gorgeous. It's so gorgeous. I hope to see more of the 3 of you. If you run a Pride event, if you're, you know, World Pride, if you're LA, if you're new, what you need the 3 of them on your stage. You need to
absolutely.
You
make your Pride fierce.
That's right. Happy belated birthday. I saw everyone celebrating you. Happy, my mom, my dad, my sister-in-law, everyone's a Pisces. Oh, Lord, help us.
Oh, good luck. Bless you.
You're such a pleasure. I can't wait to see you in and around New York performing and get to see you up live and up close and personal. Thank you for inspiring and being a voice and a person that we can all look up to and leading the way for causes that are near and dear to us. It really makes a difference. It's been an honor to talk to you today.
Thank you, Rob. And, you know, just keep following me and keep up with what I'm doing. We have some amazing new projects we're working on. And yes, exactly. Follow at the Mila Jam, themilajam.com. I have a new song that is coming out in a few weeks. We are getting ready to celebrate Trans Day of Visibility. So keep your eye out for this very, very important project that we have coming out. And I'm so honored to be here. Thank you so much.
I'm so honored to be here with you. And anytime, my show is your show. Thank you so much for being here.
Well, there you have it. A whole fierce hour with you all. Plus, yes, they are fierce as fierce. These superstars are singing what they are. They're fierce, legendary ladies, legendary dance ladies. Yes, the United States of humanity. I like that a lot. Sometimes we got to just be a little bit political and say what we got to say, right? So I hope you all enjoy. Thank you. My students get mad when I don't say hey. So hey, students, I see you. I saw you. I'm happy you had boxing class. I'm excited that you're all here. I'm excited that you stuck with me for this little bit of a long show. Next week, Alexandra Gray is here. Byron Perkins is here, and we're going to talk more about these kinds of causes that are near and dear to my heart. So I hope they're near and dear to yours. Coming up shows, we have Jerry Springer coming on the show. We have Debbie Gravitt, This Is Your Life show, who's a Tony winner and amazing. We have a show about the life of Pi, which is coming to Broadway. We have a lot of shows coming up. We have a great Roundtable Talks next week with some YouTubers that you're going to need to check out and see. Thank you to everybody who's still writing me about everybody so creative. We have, I don't know, 10,000 views on TikTok, and it's insane. So thank you so much for all of the love and joy that you brought. Thank you. Thank you. It is important. Adrian's question, who's going to win Best Picture? Everything Everywhere All at Once. Yeah. I think it's going to win. I think it's going to win Best Supporting Actor. I think it's going to win Best Director. I think it's going to win Best Picture. And Adrian's going to be mad at me, but I don't know if Brendan's going to win. Brendan, Austin Butler, I don't know, but I'll be at Adrian's house with a red carpet and a veggie dip. Everybody have a great week. Enjoy one another. Speak out, stand up for one another, and spread love. As I always say, there's more love than there is hate. There's more good than there is bad. So just spread it to everybody. I'll see you all real soon. See you next week, Thursday. Join me again. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Stay as fierce as you all are. I appreciate you. God bless you. Good night.